Hey there, soap fans! Welcome back to the channel for your daily dose of Salem drama. We are heading into the week of Monday, May 25, and let me tell you guys, Memorial Day in Salem is bringing the heat. The biggest news dropping is that JJ and Jennifer Deveraux are finally making their way back to town to join Jack. They are returning to remember the 4th anniversary of Abigail's tragic death. Can you believe it has already been 4 years since we lost Abby? It feels like just yesterday we were dealing with that horrific murder mystery. But here is the kicker. Jack isn't just bringing his family together to mourn. He is using this deeply emotional, vulnerable time to pitch a massive reconciliation between Jennifer and his long-lost, highly toxic daughter, Gwen Rizchek. I have to be completely honest with you guys, I think this move by Jack is a huge mistake. A lot of fans think Jack is just trying to be a good dad to all his kids, but I actually think he is being incredibly selfish and insensitive to Jennifer's trauma. Let's be real for a second and look at the history here. Gwen did not just roll into town and make a few mistakes. She actively sought to destroy Abigail's life. She drugged Abby, she gaslit her, she played a role in the miscarriage drama, and she literally hid the antidote that Sarah Horton needed just to save her own skin. Jennifer hates Gwen with a burning passion, and she has every single right to. Asking a grieving mother to forgive and forget the woman who tortured her late daughter is absolutely wild to me. I passionately defend Jennifer's right to tell Jack to take a hike on this one. But wait, there is a massive fan theory floating around that completely changes the context of Jack's push for family unity. We know from recent episodes that Jack and Chad secretly exhumed Abigail's grave, and her remains are completely missing. Jack has already asked Gwen to use her past connections and knowledge of the DiMera mansion to snoop around and see if Abby is currently floating in one of EJ's resurrection pods. What if Jack's desperate plea for Jennifer to accept Gwen isn't actually about building a happy family? What if Jack is just playing Gwen, pretending to want her in the fold, so that she feels loyal enough to risk her life investigating EJ DiMera? If Jack is manipulating Gwen to find Abigail, that is a masterclass in soap opera scheming, and I am entirely here for it. And you won't believe what happens next on the other side of town. Poor Amy Choi is about to receive a devastating blow. The Salem police have had divers sweeping the river looking for any sign of the missing Sophia. We know that Kristen DiMera bashed Sophia over the head with a rock and had her thugs toss the poor girl into the water after forcing her to write a fake suicide note. Well, the spoilers reveal that the divers finally find something at the river and it completely crushes Amy. But do they actually find Sophia's body? I am going to say absolutely not. If they find a waterlogged corpse, the mystery ends too quickly, and Kristen gets off way too easy. Days of Our Lives loves to drag out a good cover-up. I predict the divers are going to find a bloody piece of clothing, Sophia's backpack, or maybe even the exact rock Kristen used to crack her skull. Finding a piece of bloody evidence will devastate Amy because it confirms foul play, but it keeps Sophia's ultimate fate a mystery. Plus, Kristen needs to suffer. She is currently riding high, enjoying her secret afternoon delights with Xander Cook, and thinking she is completely untouchable. But Kristen always leaves a sloppy trail. Remember when she pushed Haley Chen down the stairs? Or when she kept Sarah hostage on that island? Kristen's karma is always delayed, but when it hits hard. I cannot wait to see her squirm when the police start matching the blood on that river evidence. Speaking of people who need to suffer, let's talk about the ultimate losers club that is forming right before our eyes. Gabi Hernandez and Gwen Rizchek are about to cross paths, and they realize they have a whole lot in common right now. Gabi just got publicly and brutally dumped by Philip Kyriakis outside the bistro after her massive betrayal regarding the Titangent DiMera merger sabotage and her failed attempt to bribe Liam. Meanwhile, Gwen just made a huge business proposition to Xander to buy out the hospital, and he completely dismissed her. So, both of these women are down in the dumps, rejected by the men they want, and completely stripped of their power. Psychologically, Gabi and Gwen are basically the exact same person in different fonts. They're both fiercely ambitious, deeply insecure women who constantly sabotage their own happiness because they are so desperate for control and love. I ruthlessly criticize Gabi for this because she literally had it all with Philip. She had the mansion, she had the romance, and she threw it all away because she couldn't stop scheming with Tony DiMera. Watching Gabi and Gwen spiral together and complain over drinks is going to be pure gold. Will they team up? Imagine a Gabi and Gwen alliance aimed at taking down Titan and DiMera simultaneously. That would be an absolute nightmare for Salem, but incredibly entertaining for us. While Gabi is crying into her martini, Philip is busy laying all of his woes on Brady Black. First of all, can we just acknowledge how weird it is that Brady is Philip's nephew? The Kyriakis family tree is a tangled mess of branches, but I love that the show is leaning into their dynamic. Philip is venting about Gabi's lies, but Brady is barely holding it together himself because he is wrapped up in his own complicated mess with Sarah Horton. This brings us to the most explosive storyline of the week. Sarah is currently doing her absolute best to redirect her ex-husband Xander, trying to turn him into the good, honest man she desperately wants him to be. She wants him to be a proper father to Victoria. But Sarah is completely blind to the fact that Xander is currently sleeping with Kristen DiMera. Yes, you heard me right. Xander is hooking up with the exact same woman who kidnapped Sarah, drugged her with a mind-altering hallucinogen, shipped her off to an island, and made her genuinely believe she was Renee Dumond for months. When Sarah finds out about this, and she is absolutely going to find out because Xander's getting incredibly sloppy, it is going to be the nuclear explosion of the decade. Xander is currently trying to use Gwen's rejected hospital buyout as a smokescreen to hide his affair, but Sarah is far too smart for that. The level of betrayal here is unforgivable. Xander isn't just cheating, he is literally betting Sarah's worst abuser. I think this is going to be the final nail in the coffin for Xarah. Sarah's going to completely flip out. She will likely ban Xander from seeing baby Victoria, and she is going to run straight into Brady's arms. Brady is already stepping up to be her rock, and this shared trauma is going to bond them forever. Xander is about to lose everything, and honestly, he completely deserves it for getting back into bed with the devil